Hey there again, and yes, I have the same guitar and the same fucking outfit, not because I'm a bum, but because I'm a fucking idiot, and, in the middle of the night, I'm filming, way too many videos, one after another, and if I may use that as an excuse, that's while you will see me fail at basic things such as demonstrating what I plan on demonstrating, playing basically anything, holding my hand on the fretboard, not slipping the strings, or even fucking talking. What I mean by that is even talking, although, yeah, I might suck at that to not suck, but anywho, today, because I've received so many, well, actually just a few, requests on giving you guys some tips, well, I mean, advice, man, yeah. Moving on, giving you guys some advice for how to create that amazing 80's sound, because what I used to do and what you probably are doing is whenever you want to create like an awesome, rock arena type of sound that kicks you in the nuts and puts you on stage with Steel Panther back when they were debuting their first album in 1981, I think. Yeah, what you guys are doing wrong is, well, let me just quickly demonstrate. You're probably having an exaggerated version of this motherfucker right here. I'm not even sure how it's gonna sound, but and then you start with your stupid ass, boring, just type of solos that just sound like shit. Just crap like that you always do when you go to a guitar store. You know what I'm talking about, right? So the basic mistake that you guys are making and I was making as well back in the day, because now I'm a super advanced player and YouTuber / influencer that is glad to offer advice for the mere price of $19.95 a month in the form of subscriptions on my Patreon that still doesn't exist and probably never will. Yeah, limited seats available. Where the fuck was I? Yeah, so the basic, the main mistake that you're doing is you're just using a fucking high gain metal sound that is scooped out of its mind, or out of its midst, I should say. Did I just say? Anywho, yeah, you're doing that, plus you have no fucking idea on what, modulation or effects in general you should apply. So you just go for whatever your puny koala brain tells you to do, and you just drown the whole fucking thing in a ton of reverb, which is wrong. So what you want to do is the following. Just bear with me, right? So you want to stop wasting your life watching my videos. That's what you want to do. But basically what you want to do, if you're still here, hello, is you're going for a metal sound with enough gain, but not all the way, crank like, extreme metal style. So do not do that. And also, put quite a bit of mids in it. Stop aiming for that dime-back sound that just sounds good when you're chugging on your favorite Slayer riffs while alone in your bedroom with no idea of what wanking can do to your health. So stop doing that and put some mids into it. Put your mids into it. I should have a t-shirt with that. So you want to put some mids, a lot of mids into it. Not too much, but you get my point, where you actually don't, because that's why you're here. You try to learn, and I'm being a douchebag. You want to just go for a guitar that's in tune, and not like mine, but so you want to go for something a little bit muffled. And why you want to go for the muffle is very simple. The very next step to this is choosing your right modulation. And probably some of you know about this, and you know what they were using back in the 80s, but probably most of you don't, and you just rely on that reverb to make you sound big and huge. Moving on. You just rely on the reverb to do all the job work for you. How should I put this? You rely on the reverb too much, and you never get quite where you want to. So what you're missing is the fact that, first of all, you need that slightly dissonant, out of phase chorus. Not phaser, not flanger, chorus. If you don't have a chorus, phasers and flangers will do up to a point, but chorus would be the best. So what you want to do is you want to go from having a clean guitar to having the distortion type of sound, distorted sound, right? So, and when you apply the chorus, which I'm not gonna go into detail how much and whatever, just experiment, but have it just enough to give you a nice fuzzy wuzzy feeling in your tummy late at night. So you're going for right, instead of just. So the reason why I told you to put some extra mids in your tone was because, if you haven't noticed already, that bloody chorus took quite a bit of mids from your tone, do you know what I mean? Yeah, some of those mids went straight out the window because of the phase cancellation that it employs. And if you have no idea what the fuck that means, just agree unanimously that I'm way smarter than you. And since you're way smarter than the average bear, that makes me a lot smarter than bears. So if there's ever like a contest with bears, I'm definitely the favorite. So moving on. When you have your chorus with enough shimmering, wobbly things going on to create a similar sound to what you heard in my guitar, you then want to put the delay, and you'll be like, nah man, I want the reverb. Yeah, reverb's the shit. Nope. You might actually even skip the reverb altogether, as you will see. But for now, just add the delay. And you want to play with the delay again, also, according to your taste, but you want to have it just enough to hear like 1, 2, no more than 3 you know, repetitions. Sorry, my throat's busted already, and I shouldn't have said that on cam because I know you guys were having wild imagination. Yeah. So with the delay, again, just a tad for having 1, 2, 3 at most repeats. It should sound like. Well, you can hear more repeats on mine right now because I'm using a different preset, but you get the idea, right? I mean, I have a lot of, I have like 5 or whatever repeats, but they're very in the background, so just enough to create the atmosphere. You don't want to abuse it. And why I said you can already skip the reverb is because at this point, when you have the distortion with the chorus, with the delay, not only will the reverb be very unlikely to be felt or heard or whatever, and this should not make you crank it up, because again, then you'll just make the whole mistake from the very beginning that I just talked about. So now when you go from you can hear that the difference is not that big. It's very subtle, so it doesn't give too much added value for the money. And you'll be like, what money? Well, the money is actually retaining some clarity to your tone, right? So you still want to have some definition in your chords and also your individual notes when you're playing some leads and whatnot. So obviously, this will always get through the mix, but to me, this sounds, in a lot of cases, better without the reverb, right? But again, it's not a sin to use it, just do not abuse it. And the same goes for, well, many aspects of your lonely teenage life, not just guitar playing. But I guess we'll leave that for another video, or even a whole different channel altogether, or even a different platform, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, in short, and yes, I'm in my shorts, you want to have, again, recap, high gain but not extreme, put quite a bit of mids into it because they will be taken away by the next thing, which is the chorus, which again you want just a decent amount of it. And the same thing with the delay, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever repeats, but nothing more, and just keep it like in the background. Don't push it too much to the front. And reverb only if you're like a bit of a maniac and you have separation anxiety and you're finding it very hard to let go of your past habits. But eventually I'd suggest trying it without as well. So yeah, that's, I mean, what I said before with the clarity applies also for like tapping as well. You know, you want to still you get the idea, right? That was without reverb. With reverb, it's So again, two aspects is not that much of a difference, but it's kind of lacks a bit with that attack, because obviously you're hearing some artificial room enhancement on top of it, so it takes away from that first impact of the direct sound, the direct wave. But yeah, all in all, for all of you guys out there who ask me how I get my sounds, that's exactly how I do it. And just a quick bonus at the end, if you want to have something similar for for your clean sounds, do exactly the same thing, just take the distortion out of it. So keep the chorus, keep the delay, keep or not keep the reverb. But let's see, so for example, if I would go, I'm a bit blind at this point, but I'll just try some crap. Yeah, so it's already something very nice, but let me just spice it up just a little bit. Yeah, so a little bit more delay in this case, and we can probably play with the chorus a bit more. That's what I'm talking about, right? So, just very subtle shimmering type of deal going on. So yeah, just take out the distortion and keep the other paradigm that we just talked about with the chorus, the delay, and the reverb if you want it. For the clean, actually I think it's better with, because you have a lot more room to breathe, and it certainly gives a lot more depth of space. So that's it. Let me know what you think, if you found this one helpful, or if you haven't, if you liked it, if you hated it, what you would like me to do next, or what you wouldn't like me to do next, if you want me to shut down my channel, although I won't, and I'll piss you off, and I'll keep being here and be an annoyance to anyone and everyone who watches, although it's not that many of you. I can probably fit you on a cruise boat at this point, but hey, it's an upgrade from the minivan like a few months ago. So yeah, we crossed into the 3 digits. So yeah, and by digits I mean the hundreds, not the thousands, not 3 O's, but 3 digits. Know your math. Or maybe I should revise my English, who knows. I definitely should do that. Yeah, so till next time, let me know what exactly you want me to waste your time with in the next installment of the most incredible series of guitar tuition online. Nope. It just ain't. Sorry. Sorry.
¡Órale! ¿Te gusta en Miami, eh?
So,
this time, cabrón, we will fucking discuss something, eh? I'll continue where I left off, and I'll continue telling you how you can improve your 80s metal, man. And bonus, if you want to be in that game, you can always message me, eh?
So, yeah. Today, we will pick up from where we left off last time.
And that will improve your metal, right? So last time we had to make metal sound, you know?
So, this time around, we will discuss some more intriguing techniques, And once you have that 80s metal going on for you guys, once you're kind of satisfied with what you obtained, you want to also make use of it in such a way that it speaks 80s glam scene, right? So you don't want to have like a really good glam metal sound, but playing like some Metallica song or some blues rockabilly thing. Although for the blues thing, it actually works very nicely, but you just want to compare apples to apples, and yeah, you want to stay away from comparisons with Windows or Linux or where were we? Well, we're in the part where I'm actually realizing that although I can't see my jaw moving when I'm speaking, I can see it right fucking there. See? Right there. And that's my tongue. Yeah, so retarded things you're doing in the dead of the night. In the still of the night, I should have said. I wish I would have remembered the riff, but yeah, because that would have made a cool impression on you guys, just how well versed I am, but I forgot that song. It's been like 7-8 years since I've last played it. So anywho, you want to stick with the 80s vibe going on. So once you get that sound nailed in and you're really happy with it, some other things might help you, and certainly not my exposure going haywire. You will want to employ things like, for example, power chords. I mean, power chords you probably already know very well how to play, and just let me select my preset right here. So you're probably familiar with the power chords, just right, but in a lot of the 80s songs, that cool sound of the power chords was given also because they were played in unusually high places, and I don't necessarily mean high in terms of the high frets, because that's more like grunge or new metal or more modern things, but high in terms of the thinner strings, right? So instead of right, so you want to just use that power of just how glam those thin strings are sounding. So that's actually tip number one, right? Just use your power chords on the first 4 strings also, not just the 5th and the 6th. So yeah, that's more like classic metal. High up on the frets, it's more like new metal or alternative rock or grunge or whatever, and lower frets, but higher strings is more like just how bitching that whole thing like sounds, I'm even lost for words. It's yeah, that's just using the power chords in places you're not used to using them. That's a life lesson right there. Bonus points for me being an awesome teacher, right? So the other thing that you can do, which is tip number 2, is using your power chords not just as root and fifth, or let's say you're already familiar with what I said in point number 1, which is using them on the higher strings, but you can actually use inversions, which is like you can either look at them as, for example, if this was your power chord and this was your root and then you had your fifth, if you add the octave, which is, sorry, you can either look at your inversion, which would be this one. So you can either look at it as the fifth and the root, and you realize it's an inversion for, let's say in our case, a D chord, a D power chord, or you can just, I don't know, for the sake of it, you can just imagine that it's the root and the fourth, right? So it's not entirely correct what I said before, but just not to go into heavy details, feel free to think of it that way. So that actually gives you the leverage to move a lot faster and do some cool things that would be a bit blocky with like the fifth dyad shape, and it's actually what makes drop D tuning so favorable for many situations, because you can just play that thing at a very high pace with just one finger at a time, right? So it's the same here. You can just and yeah, it's just it's also very metal sounding, I mean very 80s metal sounding, because it takes away that root and it gives again a much thinner upper register type of sound, which kind of binds into the previous first tip that we just discussed. So this would be let's say number 2, but it's let's say just like a trick of the mind. The other one, which you can either think of it as tip number 3 or continuation from 2, is now that you have different shapes you're playing with, and it's not just the root and the fifth, and now you have inversions and whatnot, you can actually employ thirds, like minor thirds, major thirds. The major ones work like a charm. And if you also put like a like an open chug, for example, that just creates So what I did there, I just alternated between like the 1 and 4, root and fourth. I lift my finger and I expose the major third, which is right behind the fourth, and you get so you can see that works amazingly well as chords, but also as melodic riffs. You can use it for intros, right? So And again, you can take it even, you can take it up a notch and go back to the first point we discussed about, and kick it just into high gear and really play on the really, really thin strings. And so I hope you already see how good this sounds. You can also make, for example, these transitions not only with the fourth going to the third. You can actually go from the fifth, for example, to the sixth, the minor sixth. Or, for example, but I mean the fifth to minor sixth is a bit more, dark. It's not so 80s. It is if you use it in the right place, but mostly it's, you can actually go. Let me see. You can actually go into some crazy Sepultura with just that thing alone. Fuck, I'm like, way too late at night. But I digress. So back to our calm and happy sunset strip vibe thing we had going on. Yeah, we can use the fifth to minor sixth transition if you want to. You can actually go to major sixth, but again, it sounds a bit more industrial. Like, actually, it doesn't sound industrial. With the ninth, would be industrial. Yeah, with the major sixth, it actually gives like a 12-bar shuffle blues vibe, right? Fucked it up at the end. I intentionally didn't want to change the tone for something more bluesy because I wanted you to see that the blues vibe kind of transcends the sound that you have going on through your amp, right? So that's another type of transition with the fifth and sixth. And for example, you can also have, let's see, I think. Going back to our thing here, where you went from the fourth to the third. Again, if you imagine this as being an inversion of a larger chord that has its root 1/5 lower. Now, when you have this. You're actually playing with the octave going down to the major seventh. It's still a major drop, right? So whether you're dropping from a perfect fourth to a major third, or if you're dropping from an octave, which is the perfect note of them all to a major seventh, it's still the same vibe, because it's actually the same thing, because the first one is just an inversion of the other one. Anywho, and before finishing, the last remaining point that I accidentally disclosed throughout my playing thus so far, but kind of didn't want to, was breathe some life into your chords. Stop playing them so shallow and mellow. Like I covered this in one of my earliest burps of wisdom, I think. If not, anyway, I'll cover it now. But stop playing it just as right. So just go for shaking that ass and chord at the same time. Try to do it. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me, but maybe you have better luck with that. But try to shake those chords. Add some vibrato. So you can either add vibrato to like the fifth shape dyad, or you can actually add it to like the fourth shape dyad for the inversions, for example, which is a lot easier to control. You can even do it with one finger, or you can employ with you can employ two fingers, just like I always suggest you would do. If you know what I mean. And yeah, just right, just try to play with these concepts, right? So Bon Jovi, In and Out of Love. You see what I'm doing there, right? I'm playing it slowly. So that just speaks a whole world of difference, hopefully from where you were at the beginning of this video, right? I think I gave you enough tools at this point to severely up your game in terms of obtaining that awesome 80s sound. And if you already knew this and you're like an amazingly advanced player, then I appreciate the time you gave me for watching this super boring video, and having the fact that it's filled with nonsense and crap says a lot about your sense of urgency in life, thinking you'll probably live forever, or at least outlive me, so that you can afford wasting your time on my video. But in case you are that naive, please let me know if you liked the video, and if you want me to do some more things like this. If you want to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Actually, these are two, so just one. Hopefully talk to your friends, wife, family, girlfriend, and give two of them, or whatever, because you might not always agree in the family, right? So subscribe or unsubscribe if I'm making your life a living mess. And yeah, till next time, just let me know what you want to see. If you want to see anything, maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to go blind, which I really wouldn't recommend, but then again, there's only so much I can do. Maybe you can talk to a therapist. Maybe I should talk to one as well. And yeah, just don't forget to tell me if you want to join the gang, eh? Because if you want to join a gang, limited seats are available. So yeah, but probably no one's gonna take that offer because it's quarantine right now, and the coronavirus is keeping us all with our hands full, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, till next time, I wanted to close the video by clicking on the mouse, although I'm filming on my, yeah, what's it called? Phone. Yeah, phone. I have a smartphone. It's actually a lot smarter than I am, so I'll just leave it at that. Bye.